time. So a really big shout out to co-creators, Convergence, and all the connections they made, because that's why we're all weaved in here. That's why I get to sit here today and do what I was born to do on this earth, and tell you about HeartThread, teach you how to do HeartThread, offer HeartThread. I happen to be in my parents' home. I've been here for a few months under the guise of caretaking, but I think they're really taking care of me, and they are in their room watching live. And I told them they could absolutely come in if anything goes wrong with the feed, and I'd help them out. So that's a true honor. Home, family, Raina Shea, the touch point today, home. That is my entire passion. Strengthening the heart of family, one soul at a time, and getting our homes full of peace, so that it just blows out into the universe. So I'd like to welcome Joy, who is, Joy, if you could unmute. And I'm gonna let Joy introduce herself. She and I are HeartThread practitioners. HeartThread is a phenomenal modality that you're going to be experiencing. I am so thrilled to be doing this on the stage, the global stage of Up Convergence 2020. Again, in the Co-Creators Convergence room. Today is September 12th, 2020, and what a magnificent day it is. So with that, Joy, why don't you take a couple moments to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hi, Noelle. I haven't talked to you since our show. Hello, honey. And hi, everyone. Welcome. First, I want to thank Karen for inviting me to come in, and I am so honored to be present with all of you and to be a part of this very auspicious occasion. World peace, woohoo, yes. So I'm briefly gonna tell you my life story in probably 3 minutes or less. It's kind of tricky, but I've had practice. So besides being a conscious channel, I'm also the founder and executive director of T-Shirts for Peace, which, like HeartThread, is a branch of soul support systems, which is focused on the evolutionary unfoldment of the planet. Now, T-Shirts for Peace, its mission is to advocate for the safety and well-being of the world's children. And these children are our new children. These are the crystal, indigo, rainbow sun children that have incarnated. And I have to say that working with them since 1994, they have trained me rather well. So a couple of things I have noticed for them is HeartThread is actually, at times, if they're open to it, a very gentle process that can really support them as well as adults. And I wanted to include them in because this organization is focused on peace, and it's all about what we're doing today, just like HeartThread, soul support systems, the amazing work that Karen does, and Noelle and Bob and everyone here. So I wanted to give a shout out to that. I also want to say, when this woman was presenting her book, I forgot I wrote a peace book, and all the proceeds go back to the children's organization. It's called Healing Duality Through the Peace of Oneness. If anyone is interested in details, please feel free to contact me. And how am I doing there, Karen? Where are you, love? Ah, okay. So anyway, okay, I'm doing good time-wise. I know we have a lot to cover, and I was saying to Karen, I'm so used to doing it on my own, you know, but this is like extra honor, extra juju. And I want to thank those I work with for coming in. I see your lovely faces and your hearts, and some of you are actually practitioners. So I know I am a teacher as well as a practitioner, and I believe Karen is a trainer as well. So we're on the same page. And I just have to mention briefly how Karen and I got our kickstart when we took Hawaii by storm. I mean, it was the best part of that trip for me was what we did on that island, that part. So it brought my heart sister to me, Karen. So there you go. I think I covered everything. Oh, John Henry, right? John Henry, he's this guide that works with us. And what happens, he incarnated, and he was incarnated in human form. When he went to the other side, he got the go-ahead from the big dudes that he could bring this process through. And it was given to Flo, and then she trained us all. But what it does is it helps to heal, it helps to shift the hidden patterns that keep us stuck. It's not the stuff we work on that we see that kicks our butt. It's the stuff we don't see. And that's what this work does. And we can work today individually and as a group, and then we're going to do a global event or global unfolding. So there you go. Karen, do you want to?
So to add just a is that me echoing? Are we okay?
No, you're good.
You see that I'm got a few stations going, trying to be live everywhere. So Joy mentioned Hawaii, and it was specifically Kauai. And it's always so important for me to show the thread connections. So because of Bob and Noel and Co-Creators Convergence, I took a leap of faith, and I'd been in Maui for a few weeks, and my dear friend and soul sister, Jocelyn, is very involved with the Ram Dass retreats, and she had invited me to come along as a family coach and be a part of the We Yogis program. I'm a We Yogis yoga teacher, so they work with families, with children. So I was going to Maui for a few years, and then I really my heart was called to go to Kauai. I had a couple little connections, but there was no rhyme and reason. The money wasn't just like flowing in that moment to make it easy to go and all of that. Yet thanks to Noel and Bob, they just connected me with, Noel, could you just say the name of the church so I don't get it incorrect?
It's the Kauai Center for Spiritual Living.
Mm-hmm. The Kauai Center for Spiritual Living, Glenn and Marion Head, and they just like we do when we are living and coming from the space of the heart. Touch, connect, there's instant trust and safety. And I stayed in one of those homes, met phenomenal people. Then I got to stay in another person's home, and a friend of mine from my connection with Jocelyn, she said, oh, my family has a home on the island, you can go stay there. And just that's what happened. Joy said, I'm gonna be in Kauai. I said, I want to get to Kauai, let's just make it happen. And somehow when we're there, we'll do HeartThread, because that's my calling, to take HeartThread across the world. And I started in Maui. And I said, and honestly, when I was going, didn't know where I was staying. I didn't even know if I could get there. And just Joy knew she was going because she had a conference there. And we just said, we'll make it happen. Joy and I had never met in person. We just knew of each other because of Flo and Raphael and the HeartThread. So it happened. And it aligned so divinely. It's worth taking some of this time in our hour here to share this, because I picked her up at a home. She needed to go to the grocery store and we needed to get some food. Oh, but let me jump back 1 second. Marion and Glenn invited me to their home. They want, who are you? You know, we know you know Bob and Noel, so you're in. So tell us a little more about you. Then another woman came, Dorianne, and she said, could you tell me a little about this HeartThread stuff? And I said, I could, and I could just show you. So on their back patio, the four of us just did what I'm just going to get that excitement going, what we're going to be doing in a few moments. And the gentleman was so kind. He's like, he offered to be in the center. We were sitting around him. We did the HeartThread. He said, how did you know the exact issues that were from my childhood? I said, your body's telling me during the HeartThread session. Dorianne was so, and I feel I'm saying her name wrong, but Dorianne was so moved. She asked if she could do more while I was there. This was the internal invitation I asked for. I asked the universe to provide me somewhere where I could have a group come together and do HeartThread. She organized a group in her home, which is right next to the Hindu temple. That in itself could have been enough. She had about 25 people there. I picked Joy up about an hour before the event was supposed to start. It all magically came together. We were in this home with 20, 25 people. They're giving money, donating. It was so beautiful. This gentleman offered another gentleman. He was in the center while we were to do the sample. As we were giving this most powerful HeartThread session, the power, you know, the pole that carries the power outside ignited on fire. People calmly came in, got Dorianne. It was all calm, and the fire was mild. Everyone's on it, so we keep going. Then it gets bigger, so then we stop and get the fire department, and we're able to even still go back into our circle, so when we are in the heart, and we can recognize the people who were really worried needed to go out, the people who could stay. There was so much power, no pun intended, or I didn't intend that, in that evening, which translates into this 1 hour in the co-creators convergence room, which translates out to every convergence room in the up convergence, and this peace weekend and this pilgrimage towards peace that's coming up. So thank you, each and every one of you. Joy, if you would like to maybe just say one or two things so that people have a bit of understanding what HeartThread is. And then we'd like to do a group HeartThread, but definitely raise your hand or put something in the chat if you have a question, and we'll answer those before we do a group HeartThread.
So as I had said earlier, HeartThread assists with shifting the hidden patterns that keep you stuck. Now, I just want to say briefly, I had 50 psychiatrists, 50, okay? And this was 28 years ago. Now, in my experience, I found one HeartThread session. Now, it's good now. I'm out of the mental hospital and everything. We're all good. So 28 years later, I've discovered that when I started doing HeartThread, that one session for me was the equivalent of 5 years psychotherapy, because you don't struggle with trust. You go to patterns that you wouldn't address. You don't have to lay on a couch, and it doesn't cost you billions of dollars. So you get to eat more, you get to be healthier, you know. But this process, I know I joke, but it's a very, very profound process that supports you with living your authentic self. Now, what happens is John Henry and any of us facilitating, he tunes in with us, and we focus on your back where the hidden patterns are. Now, I know some of you are facilitators. Linda Applegate is one, Denise is one, and I know Judy and Laura are familiar with the work. But what happens is we tune into the hidden patterns. They keep you stuck, and it's in your back. And we'll move our hands or our energy field around you, since we're working absentee. And what'll happen is we'll pick up these statements that your body needs to hear said. So you speak them. Now, sometimes we may get energy to run down you. Sometimes there are spirit guides or beings that want to come and give messages. Sometimes it's none of that. Sometimes it's just the statements. But it's very gentle, and it is, like I said, profound, and it assists you with coming into the present with your authentic self, which right now, with what is happening, there is no safer place to be on the planet than present in your own body vibrating in the new earth energies. So, and this is pivotal. So I want to say again, good for you for coming in, really. Karen, do you want to add anything?
I do. I want to add that, so let's just take it really simple. HeartThread is a modality. A couple of its core principles are that it brings in self-authority and it releases self-doubt. The information that is coming through the statements is coming from your body. It's really important to remember that. The information is coming from your body. In addition to that, when we're in the space of the unified heart field, which we're in, and we're going to do just a 1 to 2 minute little click in to get us in tighter before we start the group HeartThread. When we are in the space of the universal heart, harmony, balance, restoration, healing can happen generations forward and backwards. Anyone having the same issue that comes up in these HeartThread statements that you might bring up, another might bring up, someone on the other side of the world could have a shift because of this connectedness. And because we're in that universal heart space, other information, aside what's coming from your body, but maybe a loved one who has passed on or a spirit guide, that information can come through as well. Yet one of the core principles to remember about HeartThread is that we are tuning into your body. Your body, when you are in the heart field, will not take you anywhere you're not ready to go. A statement might come up and you really are struggling with it. If you really cannot say it, you will not say it. You are the authority, so you say it or you don't say it. We as practitioners have that awareness. We're able to tune in. Sometimes by the end of the session, it comes out smoothly. Sometimes it just doesn't come out. It's not quite ready, and that's the beauty. You are safe within your own body. And we ask you to say the statements out loud. Even if you're giving yourself a HeartThread selfie, which we'll touch on before we close, you can all do it, because there is healing and rebalancing in vibration. So the sound of our voice when we're saying these words, it's designed to bypass the mind. So you don't have to believe what you're saying. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. And it's also, and it's not talk therapy. It's not a counseling. We don't go into a lot of talk after a session. We may reflect back, but we avoid any sort of analyzing in the mind. So those are some really important things I wanted to share. And I want to see if anyone has questions. And I want to really invite you. We're gonna, because we're watching time and, we're so evolved that we can do something in 3 minutes, what we might, and we'll have huge shifts. And maybe a few years back, it would have taken, an hour and a half. So it's 2:21. In about 2-3 minutes, we're going to start the group HeartThread session. And I'm going to really ask if you are in a place that you can get on the video, open up your video, and open up your microphone if you don't have too much background noise, to please do so, and to say the statements out loud, and not to worry about if you say it before or after in sync with someone else. That's part of the beauty of it. And on my end, I have this flock of crows. I think they just cut the field next to the house I'm living in right now. And I keep hearing them going off. So we may hear that in my background. So any questions first, and we'll start there.
I just want to add one thing, too. Yeah, if somebody's struggling with saying a statement, there are times, well, have you say the statement 3 times? Not because you did something wrong, but to support the integration, okay? And that may happen in this group and it may not, but I just want to give you a heads up. Basically, we're going to work organically. So there are some things that may pop up that you may not have counted on, but the process is being directed. So I really want to support you all in knowing how safe it is. And honoring, very honoring. It's an honor for us to do this too. So thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Joy really added that it's an honor and we appreciate your trust. And for those inquiring minds that like the science behind it, then you'll definitely want to tune in Thursday to this hour. And it's actually 90 minutes with Dana Tomasino. She spent 10 to 12 years researching at Heart Math on the intelligence and the science of the heart. So I can access all of that information, not immediately in my brain or in my heart, like I can access so many other things. I have the resources, so when people ask me, I provide them. But it is fascinating if you aren't tuned in already to the science of this brain of ours known as the heart.
Karen, there was one question in the chat, and I think you answered it from Felicia. Is HeartThread our connection to each other?
Is HeartThread our connection to each other?
Partly.
So
The soul and the heart. Yes.
yeah,
Sorry,
and
honey.
like, well, no, it's okay. I was just thinking like literally modality, HeartThread is this modality, and it comes through because you're connected within your heart and the heart field, and then we connect up to access the information. So that's one answer. And then Joy, what were you going to say?
Yeah, the actual place that we feel oneness first is in the soul. And so the soul is the space where we experience the kind of oneness state of being, our unified field. Even when we drop in and we do a unifying exercise, which we will do, we include the heart, but it's a soul experience too. So they call it the unified field. And that's where we're all connected in the oneness from the soul. And that is one teaching. Some people have other teachings. I'm just sharing what I was trained for those years in shamanic training that I've had. So I'm just opening that for you as well.
So Joy, something
yeah.
popped in my head. Did that answer the question, or is there a little? Okay. Something just popped in my head because I know you have a global kind of HeartThread experience to share before we close. So what do you think we could do? Two things here. We could ask for a volunteer, and they would be the only one to unmute, and I would do a HeartThread session with them so you guys could really see what that looks like one-on-one. And then we'll do a short one. And then when we close from that, we'll lead into, Joy will kind of lead us off into a global HeartThread. Or do you feel, oh wait, Joy, you muted, you were unmuted. Go back to unmute. Or would you rather just do the circle right now?
No, I want to close with it. I was going to say, if we're going to do an individual HeartThread, everybody has the opportunity to connect in. And if those statements resonate with you, you say them. And it looks like we're going to have enough time for you to do one, and I'll do one too. And then we could close with the circle. That won't take very long.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a really good idea. So you get to see what it looks like one-on-one first. And what Joy said is so true. When we do one-on-one, everyone in the circle is there. So you might be like, wait, that's my statement. And you just say it out loud too, So who would like to volunteer for a HeartThread? And my dream come true, doing HeartThread all across the world.
Maybe someone who hasn't experienced it.
Is there anyone that would like to volunteer?
I volunteered.
Who is that?
My name is Jade.
Jade. And Jade, am I able to see you with your iPad video on? Voice.
Yeah, I'll turn it on.
Okay. Yay. Hi, Jade.
Can you see me now? Hi.
I do. This is really beautiful.
Hi, Jade. Hello.
Hi.
Okay,
welcome.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do about a 3-4 minute HeartThread with Jade. All of you are in it. So when I start this opening, we're all going to be doing this together. And, if you feel to have your mic on, please do. If it seems like it's a lot of interference, you can mute. Jade, do you have a question for me before we get started?
No, I'll just go with the flow.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jade. All right, so let's all close our eyes. And just take one or two breaths on your own, whatever you need. If you need one of those, please do so. And then I'm just going to do a slow count to 3. And on that number 3, let's take a collective breath. 1, 2, 3. In and out. So eyes are closed. And if there's a space where you are now that you can place your feet on the ground, I invite you to do so. And go ahead and bring your right hand to your heart. And just feeling deeply into your chest and see if you can feel your heartbeat. And what we're tuning into is your own heart rhythm. Just like we each have a unique fingerprint or thumbprint, we all have our own unique heart rhythm. Offering gratitude to our uniqueness, our unique rhythm, and our heart that does so much for us in each moment. Now bringing our left hand to our right. And as we do that, we're just syncing up a little more deeply to each other's heart rhythms. And what's so beautiful with all these portals is we're inviting in every person that's involved with Peace Weekend. Every person beyond every person in the world. And now as you think about your feet upon the earth also has its own unique heart rhythm. So let's take a breath from whatever space that looks like to you. Where does the rhythm of the heart of the earth begin? Take a breath from there and bring that all the way up through your feet, through our hearts, through the top of our heads, up to the universe, and one more breath back in. And I invite you to, if you really want to be deep in the experience, keeping your eyes closed, primarily to minimize distraction. And let's remember that we're on Facebook Live here. So if you are on Facebook Live with us in this moment or when it's replaying, please let's do these statements together. And if you're curious and you want to just watch a little, you're welcome to open your eyes. So Jade, the first statement that comes up that I offer for you to say aloud, I am.
I am.
I am.
In the fluidness.
In the fluidness.
Fluidness.
And in the strength.
And in the strength.
Of my personal.
Of my personal.
Empowered.
Empowered.
Foundation.
Foundation.
I release the story.
I release the story.
That I have a shaky foundation.
That I have a shaky foundation.
That there are faults in the foundation.
That there are faults in the foundation.
Because the faults and the cracks.
Because the faults and the cracks.
In truth.
In truth.
Are the gracious.
Are the gracious.
Openings.
Openings.
Inviting me.
I didn't hear that.
Inviting me.
Inviting me.
To enter.
To enter.
The dark crevices.
The dark crevices.
Caves.
Cave.
And hidden patterns.
And hidden patterns.
Where. The ultimate.
The ultimate.
Truths.
Truths.
Beauty.
Beauty.
Joy.
Joy.
And passions.
And passions.
Of who I truly am.
of who I truly am.
Lie. This is where they lie.
Lie. This is where they lie.
In the darkness.
In the darkness.
Being held.
Being held.
Embraced.
Embraced.
Germinating.
Germinating.
And in the precise moment.
And in the precise moment.
Of me.
With me.
Of me.
Of me.
And with me.
And with me.
I open.
I open.
And I grow.
And I grow.
And I go.
And I go.
And I expand.
And I expand.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
That others thought possible of me.
That others thought possible of me.
And I.
And I.
So gracefully and graciously.
Go gracefully and graciously.
I always knew this truth.
I always knew this truth.
And I still do.
And I still do.
So, for the sake of time and shifting, we're going to stop in that moment. So just take a moment, 20, 30 seconds or so, Jade, with your eyes closed. When you're ready, you can open them, and then we'll just reflect back for a moment. And feel free, everyone, to drink water. So important, especially if you have lemon to squeeze in there and lime. And then when Jade's ready, Jade, I'll just have you maybe reflect for a moment, a minute of your experience there.
My whole body got hot, and I was feeling, maybe more of what you might call healing energy. And I've been looking for a little bit of assurance and guidance. And so I started to laugh when you talked about it, because there's no way to really transfer a human experience into 1 minute, but they were addressing something that they've been trying to show me. And I felt by allowing it and speaking it, I can allow that to heal a little deeper.
Thank you, Jade. And the HeartThread is my favorite word, whether I made it up or not, is instantaneous. And there will be laughter and there will be tears. And when you laughed, it was so great. I mean, I was crying and then I was laughing too, because we recognize and acknowledge. And the beautiful thing, why I like HeartThread, is because the shifts do happen immediately. You could be sobbing, crying. I have had clients sobbing, crying over horrific trauma in their past, and within moments, laughing with pure joy. That is the beauty of what we're able to do in the heart field to transform ourselves and transcend. So I would like to turn it over. We would like another volunteer. I'm going to turn it to Joy. It's 2:37. She's going to give about a 3-minute HeartThread session, do exactly what we just did. And then we'll go with the global HeartThread.
Yep.
Thank you, Karen.
Have your stopwatch just in case.
So who would like to volunteer?
Yes, do we have a volunteer? Somebody maybe who hasn't experienced it before.
I have a couple friends on the line here. I think you might really enjoy doing this.
I think so. I have a feeling I will. Okay. Is there anyone who has had one that would like to have one? Just put up your hand or unmute yourself. Yeah. Okay, Laura, I see you. Yes.
Hi, Joy. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lovey. Thank you for volunteering.
I can't believe I got, somebody
But
else.
you
Because
Yes.
it's so precious. It's so precious.
Yes, yes, and so are you. So you ready?
I'm
John
ready.
Henry and I are here, and we're standing behind you. And I want to encourage everybody to take a nice deep breath, because John Henry is sending his energy around to everyone too, and he's blessing the heart field. He's like sending some bubbling ups kind of frequency, and he's just kind of moving it down the spine of those who need that to release any blocks. And now, Laura, we're standing behind you, and do we have permission to put our hands on your shoulders and move as needed?
Yes, please.
I just heard John Henry say, "Why, thank you, Laura," and I'm saying thank you for that honor. So I put my hands on your shoulder, and John Henry has his hand on the small of your back. And as we're tuning in, what I'm hearing, would you repeat? And anyone, I have this sense it's in the field as well. Would you repeat, I am allowed to be myself.
I am allowed to be myself.
I am allowed to be all of me and shine as bright as I am.
I'm allowed to be all of me and shine as bright as I am.
And I do it naturally.
And I do this naturally.
With ease and grace.
With ease and grace.
The world opens out and receives me.
The world opens out and receives me.
With love and honor.
With love and honor.
Take a nice deep breath. Now I see this gossamer white energy coming down the top of your head, and it's moving down your spine. And for anyone else who feels like they need that, just breathe it in, breathe it down your body. Laura, in your case, it's spanning out in the small of your back, and it's going up to that wing area that needs that focus. You know where that is, right?
Yes, I do.
And yes, and right now I see there are these levers where the wings are that I want to say clips that have prevented flight that are being taken off. And I see a little fairy flying over there, and they're shining some jewels, and they got these jewels and they're placing it on that wing. And they're like, now, don't make it too heavy. Don't make it too heavy. We want her flight light. So it's just shimmering in. Would you breathe that energy? It's like a blessing. And once again, they're showing me a crown. And the crown is a link to the expansion in your crown chakra. It's a wreath of flowers going out. And now I see that energy coming down, and I am witnessing the tree spirit in you. And I am seeing the branches reaching out and being blessed by the golden sunlight and the roots going down deep in the heart of the mother. Breathe deep. And would you say, all of me is here now?
All of me is here now.
Grounded, safe.
Grounded, safe.
Present.
Present.
And living free as my authentic self.
And living free as my authentic self.
Because I can.
Because I can.
Everybody take a nice deep breath and just shake your shoulders from side to side. Feel yourself here. Woohoo! See the little fairies hopping around and your auras in there. It's quite colorful. Laura, how do you feel? And do you want to share anything?
I just love them. I love them helping. I had pain by my wings, and now it's gone. It's lifted, it's dissipated.
Beautiful.
Fully, and I'm grateful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that honor, Lovey.
Thank you.
How are we doing time-wise?
We're
We're
doing
good. 10 minutes.
I'd like to, it's 2:43, and I'd like to just see if anyone would like to share something. Maybe you felt a resonance, maybe just if there's anything that, as anyone from the group that would like to share something in regards to what we just experienced between both sessions. Okay, quiet.
So did you enjoy that? Did anyone feel benefit? Could you just nod your head? Linda, do you want to share, hon? Okay, please unmute yourself.
Well, I was going along with Laura and repeating the phrases, and I'm feeling the energy at the moment. So
Oh, wonderful.
I did like the wings, the flying free.
Of course you did. Linda's also a practitioner, and so is Denise. Yes, the two of them. Woohoo! Okay.
Am I on?
Yes, Judy.
Okay. I could feel with Laura, I could feel like my body start getting lighter and lighter the more you were going on with her. I just felt like this, like kind of like an aha moment, you know, like, and then a lightness for my body too. So I was not saying it out loud, but as she was saying it, I was saying internally with that. So
you felt it in your auric field. That's important to know too, because this work, we have 4 bodies, the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual bodies. And what happens is the frequency is going to go wherever we need it. So it'll go in the DNA, but if we need to expand our auric field, it'll do that. It's all according to what you need. So I just wanted to say that. Okay. Yes, darling. And thank you for sharing, Goddess Judy.
Thank you. It's so beautiful. So I'm putting my information in the chat field, and Joy, maybe you could do the same.
Karen, there is one comment.
Oh, please, I missed that. Let's see. Oh, okay. It says, I had no idea what this was, and I had no idea how much I needed it. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's, you know, I've been doing this for about 11 years, and actually, let's just use my parents who I know are on. Hi, Mom and Dad. Hey, I never thought I'd get to do that, like on TV. Hi, Mom and Dad. And then they're like, we just can't quite put to words what she does. However, we know we know that people just say they're better off for it once they've done it. And so it's, it is a little tricky to put in words, and Joy and I are so passionate about this work, and I'm here to do it all over the world. There's a 3-day training to become a practitioner. I do HeartThreads on the phone, you know, all such ways. So if you feel any resonance with it, or feel to pat you someone that might know it, please have them reach out to us. There's several trainers. We all promote each other. We all promote each other as practitioners. There are some basic guidelines that you stick to with HeartThread, and then it becomes unique to your soul and to your heart. So that's what I love, the freedom in it to stay true to the heart. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add something, Karen, too, that like you said, we all have our own unique flavor. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we all wind up with whoever we need to experience it from. Nobody is greater than anybody else. We're in this together. So I just want to say that.
Trusting the resonance. When Joy and I were in Kauai, we did we each got to do about a 25-minute session instead of 3-minute. You guys were awesome there. Thank you so much, Laura and Jade. Yet you can see in 3 minutes, there's still impact. But like,
yes.
I had one way, and then Joy's, there definitely some fairies came in and beings from the other side, and there was just 2 completely different ways. However, the people, I mean, the people, like, they came to each of us afterwards. They made more sessions with us, appointments, because our heart fields resonated. We had what they needed in that moment. So that's what was so beautiful. So
It really was. It was. And
it's 2:48, and I'd like to really stay on time because I'm going to say this now.
7 minutes.
This HeartThread, Lori Timmerman is coming up next for peace, up the top of the hour. And I want to really make way for her. She's going to be talking about the cost of war today. She was on last night. I recommend if you can get here every hour between, you know, all of these amazing offerings. So Joy, I'm going to let you do like your 3-4 minute global, connect us all in global HeartThread, and we'll each just have about 50 seconds to say goodbye.
First, before I do anything, I want to say I know Lori Timmerman, and I really feel I've kind of checked in with some things. If you guys have a chance, check in, see what's here today. And what I want to do with us, which is something a little different. I have been doing it for a while, and I feel really passionate about this. So I'm delighted to share this. I was telling Karen that this is something that I really love to close with. And the reason is because we have the ability with our hearts to affect the globe. Now, you know, with all the stuff going on and everything, we all know the light is stronger than the dark. And the heart and the soul have a frequency that is beyond illusion. So, and we are, one of the things people are not consciously aware of, which most of you who know me have heard me say this, I really want to encourage everyone to know that when we ground, it's imperative to ground to the new earth energies, because there is this spiraling off of density that isn't serving. And when we link to the new earth energies, what happens is we become congruent with the expansion and the flow of how Mama Gaia is reemerging. So this, in this event, what I want to encourage everyone to do, put your right hand on your heart again, if you will, okay? And now we're going to do this grounding a little different, because nowadays what's going on, there's a lot of very high beings in the Middle Earth now. And there is an expanded light in Gaia, in her new earth flow. So I want all of you with your hands on your heart to imagine that your feet are deeper in the heart of Mama Gaia at a safety stone that has your initials on it. Now, some of you may feel this stone is a certain shape. It may be a certain gem, but it's got your initials all around it. Now, as you have your feet there, remember, Mama Gaia is big enough and her heart is always large enough to hold all beings, not just on earth, but throughout all dimensions. So feel your feet really, really going in. And now feel the light of her creation coming up, bubbling up through the bottoms of your feet. Take some deep breaths, and know as we breathe together and bring her energy up, we're holding a really, really deep unified field together. And breathe it up through your body so you can receive this blessing from her. Breathe it up through your whole being to the top of your head. And now feel at the top of your head the expanded light that is pouring down the top of your head as well. Feel it cascade and touch base with your heart. Feel that beautiful jewel of a heart that you have. And now feel that flow go down to Mama Gaia again, and this time blessing her. Blessing her with your light and your love. And now feel that energy, that it becomes like a river flowing over our feet. Her love, our love. And now feel that energy bubbling up to the surface and feel it touching the souls of all the people on the planet, the children, those that are in need, in turmoil. Now this energy goes up and it blesses all walking the planet with no prejudice, with no care about what role they play in their lives. The blessing is being offered because it's coming from the one heart, our heart, and the heart of the one. It's spreading out. It's touching into the oceans, the forest. It's moving to the mountains, the areas where the fires are. It's blessing Gaia everywhere, all over her form. It's going to political leaders, religious leaders, to all things linked to the system to offer grace. And now it's expanding out and it's moving to the other planets, the moon, the sun, the stars, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, all the planets in our galaxy. Breathe deep. Feel that